Hey everybody, it's Lance Keltner coming to you from Santa Fe, New Mexico for LKEL Productions, and today for my good friends at Lewis Electric Amplifiers. Now look, I've known Lewis for 40 plus years. I've known Lewis since people were doing YouTube videos for gear way back when I first started, back in the days of Destroy All Guitars, the early days of the GearPage.net. Lou's been building amplifiers for some of the biggest names in the business for as long as I can remember. And he's got this amazing amp I've been asking him about for some time now called the Cobra. Now, this particular one we're looking at is the Cobra 66. I love this because I was a big Cream fan way back in the old days, and Eric Clapton. I was always thought about KT66 equipped Marshalls. There's something about that tube. It's got a lot of bottom end. It's got a lot of push. And a lot of you out there are going to say, why in the world would I want a 4KT66 amplifier with big iron? And I'm going to tell you why. Because guess what, guys? I've discovered in the last couple of years, after going off the ranch and using 15 watt and 30 watt amplifiers, that there's still nothing in the world like having big iron and 4 big tubes. And why can you do that? Because people like Lou have a great master volume. I'm able to get great tones at a reasonable level, but what I get back that I didn't have with those small wattage amplifiers is that push and that bottom end. Now, let's talk about the Cobra 66 for a second. Obviously, it's a sort of familiar look. It's a D-style amplifier, but Lou did all of his own stuff on this, which I really like. It's got the FET and normal inputs like all of these kinds of amps do, a volume, 3-way bright switch, mid control. It's got the rock jazz switch. And, you know, I don't use the jazz switch much. And most of the guys that I've ever talked to that knew a lot about Alexander's original designs on these amplifiers said the jazz switch was more for literally big box jazz guitars and acoustic guitars. So you got treble mid bass. You got your gain and volume for your lead channel there, and then you've got a master presence. And one of the things I really like about this amplifier is it's got a negative feedback control. What does that do? Well, a lot of D-style amps had tiny little adjustments inside the chassis that people, like Tex or the builder himself, would adjust the negative feedback on the amp. Negative feedback, for those of you who don't know, is going to really adjust a lot of the feel of the amplifier. So what Lou's done on this one, which is great, is he's put a negative feedback control right on the front of the amplifier, so you can dial that in for your playing, your guitar. I run this thing like a hot rod for what I like and have the negative feedback where it's just like, it's on the edge of destruction. I love it. It comes with a foot switch. You can bypass the EQ and you hit the overdrive button there. And the EQ bypass is another cool feature of this style of amplifier that just basically makes the thing more of a hot rod. You're basically pulling that EQ almost out of the circuit completely, and it really makes the thing pop. Now, Lou sent along his 212 open back, oval back cabinet, which I really like. 212s, we'll talk about that a little bit more in the description later. But for now, I want you to hear this Cobra 66. This thing is mind-blowing. I really love it. You're going to hear it with a Collings I-35 Vintage and also with my old favorite Strat. So let's listen, guys. Here we go. Today we were looking at the Cobra KT66 by Lewis Electric. It's a 4 KT66 equipped amplifier with an FET input and regular input, along with treble mid-bass controls, a 3-way bright switch, a mid switch, a rock jazz switch. The second channel features a gain and volume control, and the master section has a master volume, master presence, and a negative feedback control, which I have never seen before on an amp of this style. The amp does have an effects loop, and the matching 212 cabinet comes with Celestion G1265s and is an open oval back cabinet. Amazing sounding piece. It's something you should all check out. I've never seen an amp of this kind with KT66s, and it does bring the mojo. I'm Lance. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.